trig equations, something like this. Now that we know they can be positive or negative, that brings up some possibilities for the answers that we didn't have before when we were talking about a right angle triangle. The first thing we do, we need to know, well, hang on a sec, between what angles do we want answers? Because obviously there's an infinite number of answers. We need to locate the quadrants. That's the first thing we need to work out. Well, tan is negative, therefore I'm in the second and the fourth quadrant. All right, then I want to work out the acute angle of the triangle that we worked out. Well, that would be 2.3673, because acute angles, the ratio is always positive. So I know the acute angle in that triangle is 67 degrees 6. Now I'll solve the problem, put it all together. A little diagram can sometimes help. So we draw in, well, we're in the second and the fourth quadrant, so it'd be those two. And from that I can see, oh yeah, all right. So it's 180 minus the acute angle and 360 minus the acute angle. Put it all together, we get the two answers. Now, of course, I'm not saying you'd write every single one of these lines down. I mean, some people do. Some people even draw the diagrams. That's fine. But that's the process pretty much that we're going through to get our two answers in this case. So cos theta equals a half. Same idea. I'm in between 0 and 360. Oh, first and fourth quadrant, because we're positive. So there's my two little triangles. Work out the acute angle. Oh, 60 degrees. So it will be that acute angle, or 360 minus that acute angle again. Bang. There's our answers. Cosec. Unfortunately, we don't have a cosec button on the calculator. So we have to change it. It becomes sine is a quarter. But then, of course, it just becomes the same thing. And in this case, the first and the second quadrant, work out the acute angle. So therefore, we have our two answers. Ooh, but now we can have some fun. Get away from the basic ones. It's just like any other equation. You solve an equation, you want to make what you're trying to find the subject of the equation. So in this case, it's sine x we're trying to find. Make it the subject, now we just do it as normal. Third and fourth quadrants, acute angle's 30. There's my two answers for this particular one. Ooh, hang on, I've got sine theta and I've got cos theta. Well, how am I going to do that? Because the pronumerals are different, if you like. One's sine theta and one's cos theta. Well, this sort of one's nice because I can play around with it and turn it into tan theta. So whenever you've got a sine theta equal cos theta, you can do that. And now I can solve this particular equation. Second and fourth quadrant we're in. And there's the acute angle. We have our answers. Cos 2 theta. It's one thing we've got to be careful with here, because remember, we're looking for answers theta in between 0 and 360. Therefore, I need to find answers for 2 theta between 0 and 720. We need to go around the circle twice. All right, other than that, it's the same. I'm in the first and the fourth quadrant, work out the acute angle. I get my two answers, but because I'm going around twice, I just simply add 360 to both of those to get the other two answers, because now that's 2 theta. Divide by 2, and all 4 of those answers are in between 0 and 360. So we have 4 answers for this one. Which then leads us to here, and what we looked at yesterday. We can now play with even more types of equations with using our trig identities. We know sec squared, well that's 1 plus tan squared. We can turn this into a quadratic. What multiplies together to give negative 2 adds together to give 1. Okay, so either tan theta is negative 2 or tan theta equals 1. We just have 2 simple trig equations to solve. So the first one, we're in quadrant 2 and 4, acute angle. There's our possibilities. The other one, quadrants 1 and 3, acute angle's 45 degrees. We have our answers. Pull it all together. Write a final statement. Don't just leave 2 answers over here and 2 answers over here. Pull it all together. I like to put them in numerical order. I suppose you don't have to, but it just looks nicer if it's in numerical order. There is our 4 answers. Now, I didn't put an example of it here, but I just want to point out that if you get a situation where the boundary is an answer, like 0, don't forget to put 360 in as well. Because remember, you've gone around the circle and both are going to be answers. That's very often forgotten. People might just put 0 down, but then they forget, oh, hang on, 360 would be the same answer as well. There's things like that. Okay, so 6H, but also some out of the old Cambridge textbook, which I'm pretty sure I did put in the notes there. They should be there.